Welcome back, my students, to a brand new episode of Comic Class. In today's lesson, guys, I wanted to bring you guys a discussion video basically talking about alternate universe stories. And yeah, just to have some fun and just talk about something that's been on my mind lately when it comes to comic books. Now, comics are a very rare medium in that not a series, but like a company like DC especially. I mean, Marvel does it too. But DC has this thing called Elseworlds. I'm not sure if it's still a thing or if they use a different term now. But Elseworlds just really means giving a writer the freedom to make their own story that they want to do with the characters of DC. And basically, just tell like an alternate universe story. The most famous alternate universe story probably of ever is Kingdom Come. It's a story that people have always loved since it came out. It's highly regarded as one of the greatest comic book stories of all time. And I wanted to talk about, what is my thoughts on the alternate universe, story thing that we do, in comics. We see things such as the evil Superman in a lot of things, such as the Boys TV show or comic, as well as, like Invincible, you have Nolan, that he's kind of like evil Superman as well. And it's just this trope of an evil Superman as well, which could be its own video. I think Tom Taylor had talked about something about not liking that trope. And I mean, I do admit it is getting kind of old. But, this whole concept of taking these characters and doing different things with them, different takes, different iterations, really did blow up whenever all this alternate universe stuff started happening in the comic books. And I think something like Kingdom Come really did have an impact because you see the impact of this more dark and gritty alternate universe take. You know what I mean? You had movies like The Terminator and Terminator 2 that kind of like had this type of, apocalyptic future, like no hope, all despair type storylines. And I feel like Kingdom Come really goes into that. Not only that, but you have a story like Injustice, which is way more modern, which was like 2011, I think, when that started debuting in the comic book. I think it was 2011, or it could be wrong, it could be later. But the point is that story is very dark as well, and that's an alternate universe timeline, an Elseworld story. You also have Elseworld stories like Red Sun, Superman Red Sun, and stuff like that. And I hear like there's a lot of like DC Black Label or something utilizing Batman's character and stuff. Like Batman stories are like super edgy and dark and gritty and just adult in that. But yeah, overall, I think alternate universe stories in general, I like the way comics work in that we have this opportunity to give these characters another look, and with the right writer, you can put these characters in situations that you would hardly ever see them in their regular universe counterparts, and it can lead to interesting stories such as Kingdom Come or Injustice and that. I've never read Superman Red Sun, so I can't speak on that. But as far as Injustice goes, I've read the first chapter or issue, and Kingdom Come, I've read the entire story, and both seem like really great stories. And I do think that there is room for Elseworlds. I think it's something that shouldn't be abused, though. I think that it's people like Mark Miller, not Mark Miller, Mark Waid. Yeah, Mark Waid's the guy who wrote Kingdom Come. People like Mark Waid, I think special people should do Elseworlds. I think Elseworlds is a thing that maybe should happen maybe once a year, twice a year, maybe even 3 or 4 times, maybe quarterly. I mean, you could do it like that. But I think it shouldn't be overused, but I do think it has its place in comics. And that's the question I want to put out to you guys. What do you think is the place for Elseworlds in comics? Do you think it should have a bigger role in the comic industry? Do you think that it should have a lower role? Do you think it even needs to exist in changing characters, showing them in a darker or even lighter light? It just depends on the character you're telling the Elseworlds of. Because you want to change what that character usually is. That's the point of Elseworlds, basically. Tell a story that you normally couldn't tell with these characters in character, in their main line of character. And that's it, basically, just asking you guys, what do you think? Do you agree with Elseworlds? Do you want to see more? What's some of your favorite Elseworlds stories? Leave them down below, because I would love to have some recommendations. I've only read pretty much Kingdom Come. I think when it comes to Elseworlds, I haven't read a lot of Elseworlds stories. I can't think of another one other than Injustice, and that I've only read the first issue, so I don't really count it. But yeah, leave a comment down below. Leave a comment down below and let me know what you think and what your suggestions are that I should check out. I love to hear all your suggestions, and I'm always eager to read some new comments that are great. So just leave your favorite Elseworlds down below, as I want to read some great comments. And yeah, until next video, guys, God bless you. Until the next lesson, keep on reading those comments.